Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we've got something incredibly special for you, a hidden treasure right under our noses. It's a coin that most people might overlook, but when you take a closer look, it could be worth a fortune. We're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1975. This seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a lot more than its face value, and today, we're diving into why this little penny could make you thousands, yes, thousands. So, what's the story behind the 1975 US 1-cent coin? Let's take a quick trip back in time to 1975. The US was in the middle of the post-Vietnam War era, and the country was undergoing significant social and economic changes. Amidst this historical backdrop, the US Mint was busy producing coins, including the 1-cent piece that would soon make history. But little did most people know, this penny from 1975 wasn't just any ordinary coin. What makes the 1975 1-cent coin stand out among all other pennies is its unique characteristics, especially a rare minting error that could make it worth a jaw-dropping amount. The most notable error is the doubling of the Liberty inscription on the obverse side of the coin. Yes, you heard that right, the word Liberty is doubled on certain coins, and that little mistake makes this coin incredibly valuable, but it doesn't end there. Many collectors and enthusiasts have pointed out that these 1975 pennies were also produced in larger than usual quantities, meaning they were circulated more frequently. Over time, most of these pennies have faced heavy wear and tear. But if you happen to stumble upon a 1975 1-cent coin in near-perfect condition, it could be worth much more than just a few cents. Now, let's talk about the error coins. These rare pennies with doubled lettering are often referred to as double-die errors. These coins are highly sought after by collectors because they're so rare and unique. Imagine having a coin that was accidentally printed with such a distinct flaw, making it unlike any other penny from that time. That's what makes these 1975 pennies so valuable to coin collectors. When they spot an error, they know they've found a gem, and that brings us to the big question: how much is this coin actually worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to own one of these rare 1975 1-cent coins in excellent condition, especially one with a doubling error, you could be holding onto a coin worth an unbelievable $58,000. Yes, you read that right, $58,000. Now, before you start checking your piggy bank or rooting through your coin jar, keep in mind that the condition of the coin is key. A well-preserved coin, one that shows little to no wear and tear, is what really boosts its value. So, if you find one of these pennies with the error and it looks brand new, it could be worth a fortune. If you think your 1975 penny might have a doubling error or just want to know more about its potential value, it's always a good idea to get it professionally authenticated. Coin experts can examine the details and confirm whether your penny is one of those rare and valuable error coins. So, there you have it, a small, often overlooked coin from 1975 could be hiding an incredible secret, one that could change your life if you happen to find it. The rarity, the unique error, and the demand among collectors make this coin a true hidden gem in the world of numismatics. Make sure to keep your eyes open and take a closer look at those pennies you've got lying around, because you might just have something worth far more than you could ever imagine. Top 2, we have something really exciting to talk about, a coin that you might have in your pocket right now without realizing that it's worth a small fortune. It's the United States 1-cent coin from 1978. Sounds pretty ordinary, right? A penny. But what if I told you this seemingly simple coin could be worth thousands of dollars? That's right, folks, this little coin has the potential to make you a lot richer than you might think, and today, we're going to break it all down. Let's set the scene. In 1978, the United States was in the midst of a unique era. The country was recovering from the economic turbulence of the 1970s, and inflation was a big concern. In fact, just 2 years earlier, the US was in the middle of one of the worst inflation crises in its history. During this time, the US Mint was busy creating coins, including the 1-cent coin. But unlike most other coins, the 1978 penny has a few things about it that make it stand out in the world of collectors. What makes this coin so valuable? Well, it's not just the fact that it's from a unique historical period. The 1978 1-cent coin features certain errors and distinctive characteristics that can make it worth much more than its face value. The most notable issue with the 1978 penny is what's known as a minting error, and not just any error, but a very specific and rare one that could potentially make this coin worth thousands of dollars. One of the most sought-after varieties of the 1978 penny is the double die error. Essentially, what happened is that during the minting process, the die that imprints the coin onto the metal was slightly misaligned. This caused some of the inscriptions on the coin to be doubled. If you closely examine the obverse side of the 1978 penny, you might notice that the words Liberty or even the date 1978 appear to be slightly duplicated. This subtle mistake makes the coin incredibly rare and highly collectible. Now, let's talk about rarity. While the 1978 penny was minted in huge quantities, only a small fraction of them have this error. And even fewer are in perfect condition. Most of the 1978 pennies were circulated, meaning they've been through years of wear and tear. A coin that's been well preserved, especially one with a minting error, is a true treasure in the world of coin collecting. Collectors love these kinds of coins, especially when they come in uncirculated condition. The value of a coin skyrockets when it's been kept in pristine shape, free from any major marks, rust, or scratches. If you find a 1978 penny that looks as good as the day it was minted, and it has that famous doubling error, you might be sitting on a real gold mine. And now, let's get to the exciting part, the value of this 1978 penny. If you have one of these rare error coins, especially one in excellent condition, it could be worth a staggering amount. Hold on to your seats, this little penny could be worth up to $55,000, that's right, a single 1978 penny, with the right error and in the right condition, could be worth more than a brand new car, or even a down payment on a house. So, before you toss that penny into a jar or spend it without thinking, take a closer look. It could be your ticket to a life-changing payday. Now, you might be wondering how you can tell if your 1978 penny is one of these rare and valuable coins. First, check the condition of the coin. Coins that have been well preserved are the most valuable. Then, closely examine the details, especially the lettering on the obverse side. If you spot the doubled words or date, you might have a true gem on your hands. If you're unsure, it's always a good idea to have your coin professionally authenticated by an expert to determine if it's a real error coin. Before we wrap up, here's a little tip for all the coin collectors out there: always store your coins in a safe place, away from moisture and dirt. A small investment in a protective holder or display case could protect your coins for years and keep their value high. So, what are you waiting for? Start going through your coin collection or even check your spare change, because you never know when you might come across a 1978 penny that's worth thousands. And remember, this isn't just about the coins you already have. Keep your eyes open for any rare or unique finds at your local coin shop, flea markets, or online auctions. Top 3, we have a real treat for you. It's not often that a seemingly ordinary coin hides such incredible value, but the 1996 United States 1-cent coin is one of those rare exceptions. If you thought this penny was just another coin you'd toss in your pocket, think again, because it could be worth thousands of dollars, and you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Let's dive into the history and significance of the 1996 penny. In the mid-90s, the United States was experiencing a time of economic growth and political change. While this was happening, the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of pennies, including the 1996 1-cent coin. Most of these coins were circulated widely, and over time, many of them became worn out or damaged. But here's where things get interesting: there's a specific variety of the 1996 penny that can make you a lot richer than you'd expect. The 1996 penny itself doesn't look much different from the regular Lincoln pennies that have been in circulation for decades. It features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side and the familiar memorial building on the reverse. But what makes this coin truly special isn't its design, it's the rarity, and in some cases, the errors that were made during the minting process. The key factor that makes certain 1996 pennies valuable is the rare, double die error. This occurs when the die that stamps the coin gets misaligned, causing some of the letters and numbers to be doubled. In the case of the 1996 penny, the most common error is a double date, where the 1996 appears twice on the coin, one slightly over the other. This doubling effect can be quite subtle, but if you spot it, you found yourself a coin that's much more valuable than your average penny. Now, what makes this error even more exciting is how rare it is. While the 1996 penny was minted in huge quantities, only a small fraction of them contain this double die error. Even rarer are those that have been kept in perfect, uncirculated condition. Most of the 1996 pennies you'll come across are worn out from years of being spent and handled. But if you're lucky enough to find one that's in near mint condition, especially one with the doubling error, you've got a collector's dream. But that's not all. There are also other small variations of the 1996 penny that can make them more valuable. For example, some pennies were made using slightly different metal compositions, which can lead to slight color variations or imperfections that make them stand out. Even small things like this can increase a coin's value if it's a rare find. So, let's get to the exciting part. How much could a 1996 penny be worth? If you happen to have one of these rare error coins, especially one with the double date and in pristine condition, you could be holding onto a coin worth a jaw-dropping $43,000. Yes, you heard that right, $43,000. That's an incredible amount of money for a coin that you could easily overlook as just another penny. So, next time you're sorting through your change, don't just toss that 1996 penny aside. Take a closer look, because it could very well be worth much more than you ever imagined. Now, if you think you've got one of these error coins in your possession, it's important to get it professionally authenticated. A numismatist, or coin expert, can confirm whether your penny is a true error and help determine its market value. This is especially important if you're considering selling your coin, as proper authentication can make all the difference in getting the highest price. Before we finish up, I've got one last tip for all you collectors out there: always keep your coins in great condition. Store them in protective cases or holders to prevent any damage from happening. The better the condition, the higher the value. So, whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who happens to have a few pennies lying around, it's worth taking the time to check them. You might just find yourself with a rare, valuable coin that could change your financial future. Top 4. We're about to uncover one of the most fascinating and valuable pennies you might just have lying around. The 1979 United States 1-cent coin, better known as the 1979 penny, is one of those hidden gems that could make you a small fortune. Stick around to find out why this little coin could be worth more than you could ever imagine. Let's set the stage. The year is 1979, and the United States is in the midst of the late 70s economic changes. This was a time of rising inflation, political shifts, and the country's recovery from an energy crisis. While this was going on, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing pennies, among other coins, to meet the demands of the economy. These pennies, like most other coins, were minted in huge numbers. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of these coins have rare minting errors that could make them incredibly valuable. Now, when we talk about rare coins, we're not just talking about those with extreme imperfections. No, the 1979 penny has a unique error that collectors go wild for: the double die error. This occurs when the coin's die, a device used to strike the design onto the coin, was misaligned during the minting process, causing the image to be stamped twice, one slightly offset from the other. If you look closely at the 1979 penny, particularly around the date, you might spot a subtle but important doubling effect. This makes the 1979 penny with this error especially unique and highly sought after by collectors. But what makes this error even more exciting is how rare it truly is. Although millions of 1979 pennies were made, only a small percentage contain this double die error. These misprints happened by accident, which is why so few of them exist today in circulation, and it's even rarer to find one in pristine, uncirculated condition. Speaking of condition, the value of these coins can vary drastically depending on how well they've been preserved. Coins that have been used heavily over time are likely to show signs of wear and tear, which can reduce their value. But, if you happen to find a 1979 penny that looks like it just came off the minting press, especially one with the double die error, then you're holding on to a true collector's item. So, how much could this penny be worth? Well, you're in for a treat. If you're lucky enough to own a 1979 penny with this rare error and it's in near perfect condition, it could be worth a stunning $53,000. Yes, you heard that right, $53,000 for a single penny. It might sound unbelievable, but it's true, and this is why coin collectors are constantly on the lookout for these rare treasures. If you think you might have a 1979 penny with this unique error, it's essential to get it professionally authenticated. An expert can help you confirm if it's an actual double die error coin and give you a better idea of its potential value. Authentication can also help you avoid confusion with other similar-looking coins, ensuring that you get the best price for your rare find. Now, before you start checking every penny in your collection, let me remind you that not all 1979 pennies are worth a fortune. You'll need to be extra careful when looking for the double die error, as it can be tricky to spot with the naked eye. But if you're persistent and know what to look for, you might just find a coin that could change your life. One last tip for all you collectors out there: always store your coins properly. Use protective holders or cases to keep your coins in top condition, so they can maintain their value over time. The better the preservation, the more your coins could be worth when the time comes to sell or trade them. So, whether you're an experienced numismatist or just someone with a collection of coins you've been holding onto, it's worth taking the time to go through them. That 1979 penny you've got tucked away could be worth much more than you ever thought. Top 5. We're going to take a deep dive into one particular penny that might be hiding in your collection and could be worth an incredible amount of money. It's the 1981 United States 1-cent coin, something that might seem ordinary at first glance, but let me tell you, this little penny could actually make you a small fortune. Let's rewind the clock to 1981. The US was dealing with high inflation and economic challenges, but the mint was still busy creating coins, including the 1981 penny. At first glance, this coin looks like the typical Lincoln Memorial cent, featuring the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the familiar memorial building on the reverse. Nothing seems out of the ordinary, right? But here's where the story gets interesting. Some of the 1981 pennies have an incredibly rare minting error that makes them highly sought after in the world of coin collectors. The error we're talking about today is called the double die error. This happens when a coin is struck more than once by the die during the minting process, and the second strike is slightly misaligned. The result is a doubling effect that makes the inscription, such as the date or the word Liberty, appear slightly shifted or duplicated. In the case of the 1981 penny, the double date is the key feature that collectors are hunting for. It's not always easy to spot, but if you're lucky enough to find a 1981 penny with this error, you've got something very valuable on your hands. Now, let's talk about rarity. Millions of 1981 pennies were minted, but only a very small number of them have this double die error. Most of these coins were widely circulated, which means they've seen plenty of wear and tear. This is why finding one in excellent condition is even more exciting. The key here is preservation. If you can find a 1981 penny with this rare doubling error and it's in near perfect condition, then you've found a true collector's treasure. The value of these error coins can vary, but the general rule of thumb is that the rarer and better preserved the coin is, the more it's worth. And if you happen to have an uncirculated 1981 penny with the double die error, you could be holding onto a coin that is worth a mind-blowing $49,000. Yes, you read that right, $49,000. For a single penny. That's how much this little 1981 coin could be worth if it has the right error and is in great condition. That's an incredible amount of money for a coin that most people would simply toss into their pockets without a second thought. But how do you know if your 1981 penny is the one? The first thing to do is check the date on the coin. If you notice that the year 1981 is doubled, then you've likely found a rare version of this penny. You'll want to inspect it carefully under good lighting, as the doubling effect can sometimes be subtle. And if you're unsure, it's always a good idea to get your coin professionally authenticated by a numismatist, who can confirm whether it's a true error and help you determine its exact value. One thing that makes these error coins so valuable is that they're not just a mistake, they're a part of history. The accidental double strike during the minting process is something that only happens once in a while, making these coins incredibly unique. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins like these because they represent a rare moment in time, when something special slipped through the cracks and ended up being worth far more than anyone could have anticipated. Before we wrap up, let me give you a tip. If you're new to coin collecting or want to start your own collection, always handle your coins carefully and store them properly. The condition of the coin can make all the difference in its value. Use protective holders, keep your coins away from moisture and dirt, and if you find a rare one like the 1981 penny, make sure to store it in a safe place to preserve its value. So, if you're sorting through your pennies, remember that the 1981 United States 1-cent coin could be hiding a serious payday for you. Keep an eye out for that rare double die error, and you could be holding onto a coin worth $49,000. Top 6. We've got something truly exciting to talk about, a seemingly ordinary penny from 1985 that could be hiding a jaw-dropping value. You might be thinking, how could a penny possibly be worth anything more than its face value? Well, you're in for a surprise, because this 1985 United States 1-cent coin has more to it than meets the eye. Stick with me as we uncover why this penny might just be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. Let's take a quick trip back to 1985. The U.S. economy was in the midst of some significant transitions, and the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of pennies to meet the demands of everyday commerce. Most of these pennies were mass-produced and circulated widely. They've spent years in our pockets, wallets, and jars of change, eventually showing the wear and tear of being used in daily transactions. But among these common 1985 pennies, there's a rare and valuable variation that could have you holding on to something much more precious than you ever expected. The key to unlocking the true value of the 1985 penny lies in an error that occurred during the minting process, what we call a double die error. If you're not familiar with the term, a double die error happens when the coin's die, which is used to imprint the design on the coin, strikes the metal more than once, and the second strike is misaligned. This results in a doubling effect on the letters and numbers, which is particularly noticeable around the date. In the case of the 1985 penny, it's the doubled date that makes it so special. Imagine looking at your penny and seeing the year 1985 twice, one slightly off from the other. That's the double die error at work, and it's a highly sought-after feature for collectors who love a rare find. However, spotting this error isn't always easy. The doubling can be subtle, and not every 1985 penny has it. So, if you're one of the lucky ones to have a double die error, you could be holding onto something incredibly valuable, but that's not the only reason why this penny can be worth a fortune. As with most rare coins, the condition is everything. Since most 1985 pennies have circulated and been subjected to wear over the years, finding one in excellent or uncirculated condition is extremely rare. The coins that were kept in pristine condition or carefully stored are the ones that really stand out and hold the most value. If your 1985 penny has that doubling error and looks like it just came from the mint, you might be sitting on a small treasure. What kind of value are we talking about here? If you're lucky enough to find a 1985 penny with the double die error and it's in great condition, you could be looking at an incredible $45,000. Yes, you heard that right. $45,000 for a single penny. It may sound unbelievable, but it's true. A coin that most people would overlook as just another piece of change could actually be worth more than your entire coin collection combined. So, before you toss that 1985 penny into a jar or your pocket, take a closer look. it could be the rare error coin you've been waiting for. If you do think you found this rare gem, I highly recommend getting it authenticated by a professional coin grader or numismatist. A certified expert will help you verify the authenticity of the error and determine its true market value. Authentication is an essential step to ensure that you get the best price if you decide to sell your coin. For all you collectors out there, here's a little tip: whether you're looking for a 1985 penny or any rare coin, condition is key. Always handle your coins with care and store them in protective cases to prevent any scratches, dirt, or moisture damage. The better the condition, the more valuable your coin will be in the future. So, the next time you're going through your spare change, take a moment to check your 1985 pennies. They might look ordinary, but they could be hiding a hidden treasure worth $45,000. Top 7, and last coin for you, we're going to uncover one of the most surprising and valuable pennies you might have sitting in your collection or even tucked away in a forgotten jar of change. It's the 1980 United States 1-cent coin, and it could just make you a small fortune if you're lucky enough to have one with a rare error. Let's take a trip back to 1980. The US economy was navigating through some turbulence, but one thing that remained constant was the need for pennies. The US Mint was busy cranking out millions of these copper-plated beauties for everyday transactions. But here's the twist: some of these pennies, like the 1980 penny, have hidden secrets that could make them worth a lot more than just 1 cent. The secret? A unique minting error that happened on some of these pennies. It's called the double die error, and it's one of the most desirable errors in the world of coin collecting. This happens when the coin die, the device that strikes the design onto the penny, is misaligned during the minting process. As a result, the design appears twice, giving the date or lettering a doubled look. In the case of the 1980 penny, this error is most visible in the date. It's doubled, and that's exactly what collectors are searching for. But here's the catch: while millions of 1980 pennies were minted, only a very small number of them have this double die error. So, even though it may seem like there are plenty of 1980 pennies out there, finding one with this rare error is actually quite difficult. And finding one in near-perfect condition? That's even rarer. The value of these coins isn't just based on the error alone, it's also determined by the condition of the coin. A 1980 penny with the double die error in good condition might be worth more than a few bucks, but one in mint or near-perfect condition can skyrocket in value. Collectors are always looking for coins that have been well preserved, because the better the condition, the more valuable the coin becomes. And if you're fortunate enough to come across one that's been carefully kept and is in uncirculated condition, then you could be holding onto a real treasure. So, how much could this little penny actually be worth? If you happen to own a 1980 penny with the double die error and it's in fantastic shape, get ready for this: it could be worth $51,000. Yes, you heard that right, $51,000 for just 1 penny. It might sound unbelievable, but there are actual sales of this rare error coin fetching such high prices in the market. This is one of those rare finds that can turn a simple penny into an incredibly valuable piece of history. Now, how do you know if your 1980 penny is one of these rare gems? It's all about the double die error. Take a close look at the date. If you notice that the numbers are doubled, even slightly, then you've found something special. It can sometimes be tricky to spot, so don't rush through it. Examine the penny carefully under good lighting or use a magnifying glass to get a better look at the details. If the date is clearly doubled, you've got a potential jackpot on your hands. Once you find that error coin, it's a good idea to get it professionally authenticated by a coin grading service. Experts in the field can confirm whether your penny is the real deal and give you an accurate estimate of its value. Authentication is especially important because it helps you get the best possible price when it's time to sell or trade your coin. If you're starting your coin collection or simply want to keep your coins in tip-top shape, make sure to store them properly. Protective holders, cases, and capsules are a great way to preserve your coins and prevent damage from dirt, moisture, or wear. The better the condition of the coin, the more valuable it will be in the future. So, next time you're going through your spare change or old coins, take a moment to inspect those 1980 pennies. They could be worth far more than you ever expected. You might just have a coin worth $51,000 waiting for you. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful and exciting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another coin discovery. Who knows what other hidden treasures are out there waiting to be found? Happy hunting, and good luck with your coin collecting adventures.